We are here. It is time for some FACEIT League. What's up, Rav? I appreciate you being here. Getting squad on today. We've got Vipera. Rav actually repping the green in chat. Rav is like in the exact same Vipera green. It's fitting. It's fitting. You chose well. Telacy Esports taking on Vipera here today. We're kicking this one off here real quick. I don't have much intro time. But hey, you know what? We'll take a look at some standings and we'll see where we're at here. We're getting ready to get into this one. Power, what's up, my friend? Appreciate you being here. Thank you. Congrats on being featured as the co-streamer. Thank you so much. It's pretty darn cool. I'm certainly very grateful. Certainly very, very grateful. Hopeful that I could keep keep eyes on tier 2, tier 3, and past to pro, and maybe draw in a new crowd. Ideally draw in new fans that maybe weren't even familiar with contenders back in the day, but just. We've got a new class of players rising up through the ranks. I mean, we've really started to see that become prominent here in 2025. I think the two rosters we're seeing today is a perfect example of that. And I think there's room for new fans as well. I think there's room for that, and hopefully we can get some of those people interested in Past to Pro as well. Keeping an eye on our awesome up and coming talent. That's what this is all about. It's highlighting our teams, highlighting the upcoming players, and keeping this community together and alive. So. Anyway, I went off on a bit of a tangent. I'm sorry. I've been known to do that. Telacy Esports, Vipera, both coming in with 2 wins to their name. Vipera actually undefeated, but this is their third match. Where most teams at this point, as you can tell, have played all 4 matches. There's actually more in EMEA than I would have anticipated. NA has pretty much wrapped up for the week. But you can tell, there's still a handful of teams that have not played their 4th match. Vipera and Telacy being 2 of those. So we still have 6 undefeated teams left, including Vipera, who we'll see on today. My Genji skin is also green. I love green. I love my teammates. It's perfect. You're on brand, Rav. I'm a fan. I like it. I dig it. Let's see. That is going to be a Tracer ban out of Telacy. Their loss is to Emptiness, who's one of the 4-0 squads currently, with wins over Sithica and TEC. We actually got Telacy on stream week 1 there for that TEC match. Let's see. That was an Orisa ban coming through from Telacy Esports. Well, all right. Happy Friday. Let's get into some Overwatch. All right. Raga is, in fact, on tank. Confirmed. All right, showing us a Hazard alongside Cynthia pulling out the Freya. Looks like we might get a Brig Juno backline there out of Telacy versus the Lucio Curie from Vipera. I expect Auditiva and Rav to go into... Okay. Actually, I was thinking both would go Genjis because of this high ground, but Rav is going to go ahead and show us that Pharah. And is, in fact, in green, as advertised, in the contender skin. I respect it. You already made it all the way across the map, and so we've got a little bit of a do-si-do going on here. Just kind of both teams rotating. Looks like Telacy kind of favoring stair side here for the moment. We're trying to get a distance of some squishies. We'll settle for a violent leap in on to Hari for some initial damage. Does at least get a defensive bubble out, which will prevent Hari from at least having it too. It must say that. Auditiva gets popped, brought down. Good finish there from Hari. Vipera able to pin Telacy there on that stairwell side. Now, Cynthia did get one, but that stick is going to do her in. Cynthia is down. And this is looking like a first cap for Vipera. There it does eventually come through after a little bit of cleanup. Tries already with a bolo. Solid. Well, it was about 40%, but Cynthia's quickly caught up. And we'll get it online here directly. This bolo builds up so darn quick. Rav Pepper in the choke, but does take damage. This has opened things up for Rug to move through. Rug's focus immediately onto Hari. Well, Adativa with a swap over to an Echo finds Rav with a volley of stickies. We're going to get a Kitsune rush from a tankless Vipera, as they look to hold on to this for as long as possible. Shrai is still holding on to this Bolo as well. I think it's just backing away, as Rav is making their way back into this fight, and it's going to be Cynthia pulling the trigger on the Bolo first. This will result in, well, a bit of a trade. Telacy on the board here for the first time. We're going to have a downpour in this next fight. Rally not too far behind, which is good. You're going to be looking at a couple of ultimates coming in, including a Primal and a Barrage. And then Snappy pretty much in tow, or keeping right in track there with Combat's ult charge as far as the sound barrier. Looking like Telacy very split at the moment. Hari got walled off. There's that barrage in. Cynthia is able to put it down, but not before finding a kill onto Rug. Combat was still a little bit away on that rally, not able to keep Rug up in time. And then Rug taking that downpour back to spawn with them. We are going to get a duplicate out of our team on this, on the objective itself here. Trying to hold on for as long as possible. Well, that's only a 300 health Winston. Does not last all that long. We will get a flip here, favoring Vipera. Drake saying Benina is known for their 2 taps. It's coming up on yet another ultimate. Oh, Rav dashed way out there. Adativa gets stuck out coast side. Not a good start. Not a good start here. 69%. Could be an opportunity for 2 fights, but Rav gets walled off. Great play there by Rug. So you make this a nice 4v4. Downpour blocked by the bubble. Cynthia putting shots in from above will land the bolo directly onto Hari, and the explosive damage will put them back in spot. Benita does, in fact, land one of those double taps onto Combat, though. So look for a quick re-engage to come in from Vipera on the back of that Kitsune rush. Try to beat Combat back into battle with the rally. Combat's yet to use it. They have to know that rally is online. Okay, it's going to be a left-hand side push. There's Combat coming back in. Kitsune Rush drops from the back. Move over the right-hand side. That's the orbital tossed in from Otaka. Right over Rog. Now, Rog just kind of slowly dancing forward. Not ideal for a hazard. Oh, sound barrier engaged. It's Hari and company look to come back in. Rabbit's able to pick up Cynthia. Dash through on Otaka, clearing off that outside flank. Combat finally using the rally here in a 99-87 fight. Ends up just overwhelmed, trying to turtle up inside the pillar. We're going to get a flip. Potential final fight, but I don't know if it's going to be a good one. 3 players still watching a timer. Combat coming back on a Lucio. Not going to make it. Vipera will grab round 1. It's a 199, though. Quite the back and forth there. And it seems like Rav ended up agreeing with Helmer Drake as far as the Pharah. It ends up going into the Genji about halfway through that after Adativa makes a swap to the Echo, kind of gets the better end of the trade there a couple times. So Rav makes the adjustment into the Genji, and it ends up being a really nice adjustment. Just being able to help clean up that flank side. So strong there in the neutral. And able to, has the maneuverability as well as the finishing power to keep up with this hazard comp. So nice adjustment there out of Rav. Early duel against Adativa once again here at the very start of University. And Hari did swap over to a Ramatra, kind of go more brawly here off the Winston, but Rug sticking with the Hazard. Cynthia able to pick up a couple on point while Rug is just being a menace here on Vipera's side of the point. Nice kill by Rabbit trying to make it back in, but the cleanup is still good from the other side. Otacon and Rug coming up with some picks. So first cap goes over to Telacy here in University. I mean, hard-earned, though. We'll say hard-earned. Peeking a little bit over this corner. Oop, that one hit a deflect. Fortunately, it wasn't pointed back at them. Oh, that's a couple of nice shots. Rav is low. Here comes the follow-up. Otacon moving, finds it with the torpedoes. Rug putting pressure in as well. Once again, the violent leap used towards the tank. And all guns got pointed at Hari here for the last few seconds, driving Vipera away. I think, honestly, Hari doing good to make it out of there. Had the cooldowns to put the block up, but still a fight win at the end of the day there for Telacy. 50% and counting as the duplicate's going to get tossed in here from Onativa. There's a Kitsune Rush in play, and ooh, Freya to Kitsune Rush is just some nasty business. Cynthia is able to find Rav throughout this with a Bolo, but I don't think it's going to be enough to turn this. Whoops. Random screenshot to lock in. Annihilation used from Hari here to clean up the back of the fight. The rally from combat falls a bit flat. A lot of damage coming in from Try's ultimate on the top of that. And even though Cynthia is able to trade there in the middle, the early Kitsune Rush just put Vipera up so strong early in that fight. Thank you, Ackerman. Downpour in, but Rav is able to escape it. Catches Cynthia with the blade. There was a sound barrier used to combo with that throughout this. Second fight win in a row in from Vipera. And a little duel there. Onativa's going to win it. Drop it down. We'll pick up the Megan. Get the heck out of Dodge. Try to regroup with the rest of the team. Rug finally swaps off of the Hazard. We'll go to match the Ramatra. Cynthia and Tries both very close to their ultimates. Tries is able to find Onativa there inside the hallway. Gonna go ahead and use the bowl load, keep the supports at bay. Try to minimize the sustain there on the Rug company. Hari's able to find Cynthia around the corner while they're trying to pursue Rug. A fortuitous turn of events there for Vipera, and they're going to win a third fight in a row here. Rug low, hoping that the block will hold. It does not. The punch comes through before the heals can respawn. Let's go Telacy. Let's go Vipera. Let's go Bull Skunk. Let's go me, says Looter. Kitsune Rush is actually back in the hallway. Onativa is playing into not only that, but an Annihilation, trying to find value with a blade. As you can imagine, there wasn't much to be found through all of that carnage. And this is going to be a closing fight win. 4 fight wins in a row from Vipera to steal away University and the map. 1-0 lead here to kick things off. First sub-map was very back and forth as far as who was in control. But once we got to University, it was back and forth, but in a different way, right? It was, you know, Telacy hanging on to it for about 75%, winning 3 fights in a row. And then Vipera turning around, getting control, and winning 4 fights in a row. So it wasn't back and forth as far as you're in control, now they're in control. Then it was like, okay, we're going to hold it for an extended time. Now the other team, it holds it for an extended time. I guess it's kind of the nature of University. It's more difficult sub-map to retake than City Center. Not as many options, ways to push in, particularly into the Ramatra and the Freya. You know, Freya's just putting up so much damage through those chokes. Farban in from Telacy Esports with a Circuit Royale pick from map 2. Take a look at some stats. Let's see. Wait, who's Golden Wolf? Oh, Benina. Yeah, Benina with only 1 death. Benina with only 1 death there in the flex support role. I'm Tries went 21-1 as well. Tries absolutely pop it off there. I know this banana guy. Did I say banana? I say banana. You say banana. Zen Band coming through from Vipera. And sound from map 2. Now, I think Circuit's an interesting pick here just because it's been very Brawl favored in recent memory. And Vipera looked quite good in the Ramatra comp. You know, looked quite good in that Brawl. So I'm kind of surprised to see this pick. We'll see how Telacy Esports wants to play this. Let's get into map 2. Okay. So, Jetpack Cat is Kylo Ren. I know they were using a streamer tag in the first game. Stupid streamer tags. We are going to get Rug pulling out the Ramatra here. Kylo Ren back into the Echo. You know, we've seen the Pharah used quite a bit, particularly on this first point. Really first 2 points. So I can understand the Echo pick there out of Kylo Ren, just kind of just in case. Interesting, Juno on a back line. Could be quite vulnerable to getting run over if Telacy Esports sees an opportunity to get aggressive. But all pressure onto Rug, as we saw previously, and then the first map seems to be kind of the flavor du jour here from Vipera. Working out well in the first fight. They're going to turn the corner, try to lock down the spot right in front of the point A cap. This can be a difficult retake. Fortunately for Telacy, we don't have ultimates online just yet. Really keeping an eye on that nano boost out of Benina. We did get Kylo Ren swapping over to that Torbjorn. Really help more in the tank fight than trying to fend off DPS is kind of what I'm gleaming from that. Give an eye for this Nano to go on. Benina no goes on to Tries. Jumps in from the air. Gets the execution. Beautifully done. This tries appears out of nowhere. Lands the stick on a Cynthia as well. Looking to hunt down Combat. Those two directs don't hit, but the hip fire does. Combat now just getting staggered out on the back end. Cap is in. 2 fight wins in a row. Back to back here from Vipera, and they've got 4.5 minutes to play with going into point B. Oh yeah, there was a Pharah ban as well. So when I was talking about maybe anticipating a Pharah, like, wait a minute, you banned out the Pharah. I did update that, yes? Indeed. Snappy gonna throw in a 4v5 orbital ready to try to push this car over the line. You do still have a Torbjorn kind of hanging out behind the tent. Have been clocked. Harian tries putting a couple in the feed. Hari is going to find an important kill onto Rug, and that should solidify the cap. Rare Gong of Death. You don't get them much these days. Oh. Tries to put Rug into the dirt. Rav finds a headshot onto Cynthia to keep this car rolling, and Vipera really fighting their groove here on Circuit Royale. And this was kind of what I was worried about. I mean, you know, this map has turned into a very brawl-centric map. And Vipera looked very good in the brawl on Oasis. That does, in fact, continue so far here through Circuit. We're looking at Blizzard and a Bolo to help hold this choke. Wall up, put pressure down onto Rug. They're able to pop the Nemesis form. Orbital Ray is there, but it only saves Rug. It's not in time to save Kylo Ren. Traded out there. Cynthia does pick up tries. Cynthia's been pretty nasty on the fray, I will say. Instrumental in kind of getting some important trades. They're in the early chaos of the fight. Blizzard got used from Rav somewhere throughout all of that. Honestly, didn't even see it. I think it was up at that previous choke. Annihilation's going to finish off Cynthia here on the front line. Kitsune Rush is very late into that fight. I guess you can still try to keep Rug up. All that extra armor is starting to fade, though, and they're still 15% away from getting that Annihilation online. Random screenshot to lock in. Command screenshot. Tries to receive a nano boost, now taking over this high ground. Lands a shot into Kylo Ren, will finish off the stalling Venture. This card is dangerously close to a 3.5 minute cap. There's going to be the ultimate to finish off the Juno. You do still have an Annihilation back on point, but it's too little too late from Rug and Telacy, and a monstrous, humongous time bank out of Vipera as they sauntered through Circuit Royale. Only 3 deaths. My goodness. Only 3 deaths in the entirety of that attack. Vipera looking like a force to be reckoned with in these Ramastra compositions. Burn blue. I respect the Dallas Fuel skin with the emerald weapon. I like it. I like the look. All right, we're going to get maze from both sides. With Telacy making the swap going on to the attack. stick lands on. Rav's going to force out the cryo freeze very early in this fight, but Rug is super low. Has already used the Nemesis form in a good wall. Will deny them healings or escape. No reprieve. And a wonderful counter punch coming through from Vipera here to win this first fight. You know, I worry when they had to use so many cooldowns so early in the fight, just right after that initial aggression. But a great clapback. The kills come through swift and clean. Second attempt coming through from Telacy. Otacon was trying quite a bit of ult charge. Leading the team at the very least. Not quite leading the server. You do have Tries that has a Bolo online ready to go. And, well, the Blizzard's not too far behind that. So it's slow and steady here from Telacy so far. 95%. Where do you go with this Nano? Could throw it on to Cynthia. We have seen the ooh, that's a good anti-nade landing in. Tries is going to go ahead and throw in their own Bolo. Trying to keep Jetpack out of the fight. Rug does, in fact, receive the nano boost. Oh, but the Nemesis fades just as the cryo freeze ends. The Blizzard's out. Rug and Otacon frozen up. Rav will finish off both. Well, Snappy gets the final blow on to Rug. But you get the idea. They're all dead. Great fight win. Just the 2 DPS ults used out of that one from Vipera. You're able to deny Kylo Ren a lot of efficacy into that fight. So, you know, they're still working towards that Blizzard. Less than 2 minutes remain. Huge anti-nade lands from Banana. This kind of keeps everybody at bay while Rug is getting pressure. The wall will deny even more healing, and Rug is going to get brought down. Sorry, I didn't get to that Pav in time. Combat tries to go save them, but it is in vain, and they will just end up watching a respawn timer alongside Rug. Yeah, this Banana guy is pretty good. That nade is what kicked all of that off. Huge 3-player nade, so all the squishies kind of have to back up into cover. And Rug just forced to move onto the stairwell. Now another wall at their back. You can just feel it. Didn't have to see it on camera. Another huge nade from Banana. And the 2 is once again just the end of Rug. No answer. Otacon is going to... I was wondering, do you make the carry swap? You know, Otacon is absolutely going to go ahead and make the carry swap. Banana's just been killing you with these nades. Rug's actually going into his Zarya as well. Just to try to help bubble up against the nades, I suppose. Maybe just some more frontline pressure. There you go. Fight Snappy. Another good wall in. Does Rug have the bubble left to survive the Blizzard? No bubbles in. The sound barrier will fade. 3 kills on the board for Rav. 4 on the board for Rav. A gargantuan Blizzard to put the nail in the coffin of Circuit Royale. And this is starting to look like an insurmountable task. Less than 10 seconds to go. We do get a Genji swap there out of Kylo Ren. Make sure we can get onto this point. Try to make an aggressive push. The Bolo does not land. The return out of Tries is good. Catches Kylo Ren. Tries has got 2. Orbital in the fight. Tries gets a 3rd. And it's going to be a full hold here. A damn near perfect map out of Vipera. Move up to 2-0. I don't even know what to say to that one. That was perfect. That looked practically perfect in every way. Wonderful teamwork. You know, good use of, you know, whether the nades were just keeping the supports out of the fight long enough to isolate to isolate Rug on the other side. Whether it was just the sheer accuracy of tries. Or, I mean, Benina just putting in the hurt time and time. I mean, wow. That was a spectacular team effort there out of Vipera. And it's going to be a Runasapi pick in response from Telacy. We're also going to get a side swap here. I'm going to go ahead and fix that for you. Brick banning from Telacy. Try to keep out of the Brick Juno. Perhaps keep the backline more vulnerable. One of the things could be a point of contention, but Telacy never able to close the gap. Even with an Ana Juno backline that you would think would be quite vulnerable. Not much peel, not much protection for either of those two. If we go look at the stats, minimal deaths. Yeah, let's say that's not even... only one death in the entirety of that defense for Vipera. And the support's able to stay alive through, I mean, only one death between both of the supports. Tries ends up 35-1. Hari ends up 37-0. Damn near perfect. Hazard ban here from Vipera. And then Runasapi. So the aggressive ban from Telacy, they do leave the tank open. So Vipera able to capitalize on that. All right, let's head to Runasapi and see if Vipera can continue with the spectacular momentum. What a showing here so far. Against a 2-1 Telacy. Against a, I mean... what's looking like a strong squad here, too. It's not like Telacy are limping into this 0-3 or anything. All right, let's get into map 3. Let's see if they can turn this one around. Oh, I owe you some gambas. Even if they don't get used, I just like keeping in the habit. It's like getting the schedule up on the Discord. Like, even if I'm super late, I just want to still be in the habit of doing things. You know, it doesn't matter if it's perfect or even if it's gets used every single time. It's just about being in good habits. It is going to be the Ramatra duel once again. Lucio carry out of both squads. Rav pulls out the Tracer here for Runasapi versus the Genji there from Kylo Ren. And I do like the Tracer. I mean, there's just so much lateral movement to cover. So many different avenues to play around. Great shot out of Cynthia, though. Finding some revenge there. 4v4 here for this opening fight. Rav and Rug, Hari and Rug, both under a lot of pressure, both looking a little low, but Hari's able to snag that Mega, get a shield up, and kind of stabilize here, as both teams wait for those reinforcements to get back. Some good space being picked up here by Rug, moving around through the inside, but Combat gets caught. And I think some of the squishies were trying to kind of push in through main, and left themselves vulnerable as Telacy was trying to kind of horseshoe around. Hari and the rest of Vipera just kind of bust through the horseshoe right in the middle. Mimesis says, love seeing some Overwatch action. Hey, I love seeing you here. I appreciate the support. Dropping the Winted, one of my favorites. Maddie coming through with like the best emote ever. Simple, but awesome. Sort of like Vipera's gameplay here today. And I mean, simple in idea, not necessarily in execution. At least particularly with the Maywalls. We're not seeing that as much here on map 3, though. We do see tries with a Bolo ready to go. Otakaw looking to get that ultimate on the battlefield at all. Tries the nice final blow onto Cynthia. Lands the direct. That'll be the end of combat as well. 3v2 left on the point after Tries coming up with 2. Telacy was running away with the bot there for a moment. Whoa, I meant to go to Kylo Rinpov. Lena's getting chased here. Meanwhile, back on the point. Tries is going to finish off Rug for yet another final blow into this fight. It has the ultimate ready to go. 2 final blows there in the ticker. So 1 kill with the ultimate. They'll immediately be back at 25% towards the next bolo. Not to mention you've got a sound barrier to work with. Kind of interesting when you have Pulse Bomb and Bolo. Like, they're both very kind of just single target. Hard to nail, but once you do, like, can be game-changing. So Tries doesn't quite nail that one. But, you know, still seeing some low health bars. Rug trying to stay alive using this Annihilation. Snappy Sound Barrier has come in and gone. But Rav's able to find another into this fight. Still no need to invest the Pulse, or maybe just hasn't felt like it. Keep it going with the pistols. Vipera put together back-to-back fight wins. This is going to be good enough for the checkpoint and more. Beat Blade combo from Telacy returning into this fight. This is kind of a must-win. Ideally, I think you would like to get Hari's at least Nemesis form out. Try to make Hari at least a little bit uncomfortable before popping the blade into the back line. Oh, but you got to stay alive, which combat is not able to. Rav moves in, the Annihilation gets popped, and Telacy just struggle to find an opening, any room to use their combo. And they end up waiting too long. Vipera pulls the trigger first and successfully wins yet another one. Lunar, your emote is really good. I've even got, all you gotta do is type break in chat and it pops up. Like, I mean, it's real. It's good enough to where it's got a command. Although so does Winston now. Like, you don't even need a command. You just say break and boom. There she is. But it's hard to beat Winston. It's hard. I gotta be, I mean, you know, I will never bullshit. It's hard to beat Winston. The brig emote is really good, though. It is really, really good. I gotta say, the emotes the community has come up with is definitely better than my own. Here comes that blade, beat combo. We're actually getting a Kitsune Mush layered on top. Kylo Ren just gets nothing for it, though. Ends up being a trade onto the Lucios. I guess you do take Snappy out of the fight and an eventual finish onto Hari there with still some of the bolster, some of the boosts of that Kitsune Rush. So it's a heavy investment, but a fight win in the end. There for Telacy Esports. So they swapped off onto a Kaz here at some point through this. This is going to be a battle of the ultimates with the sound barrier. Oh, it's still not enough to save Tries through the dead eye. Rav comes in, doubles down alongside Snappy to get the revenge and the fight win here for Vipera. I was looking so good too. It was a fun start. Cynthia is going to make another swap. We're gonna pull out the Soj. 109 to 25 here in meterage. Slight DPS ult difference here. I think it's really gonna be more about the Kirikos. I mean, unless Rav is just gonna win it in the neutral. You know, that's entirely possible. Banana swift stepping back into combat. Finds himself face to face with Rug. Lands a couple of shots and tries there to land some more. This leaves Kylo Ren on an island and Vipera back on top. back in motion. That's Benina's Kitsune Rush going right down Main Street towards the back of the objective. Hari using the Nemesis form, trying to hold this front line. Make sure they can find some value out of this. There goes rushing in to pop the Annihilation. We got stuck in a vortex of Rug. Really nice vortex. Able to turn around and kind of protect the backline a little bit while finding a kill on to Rav. Hari's eventually able to whittle through Rug, though. And Vipera are, kind of marching on here, soldiering on, albeit I believe there's 3 of them left on this point, so they'll sneak in a handful of meters before backing away. I guess theoretically, if you're 5 strong, that's, it's still a handful. But, yeah, you know what I mean. There's only 3 of them. Still, Hari doesn't back up far. Really limit testing the sustain on this from Atra. I'll find the right pop here sooner or later, don't you worry. Tries dives to the blade before the sound barrier hits the ground. Combat's going to go ahead and invest theirs into this one as well. Not finding any more squishies. Kylo Ren settles for a couple of... Woo! Slices from the blade, but after the fact, able to get some good damage in on those supports. Enough to take them both down with a little help from Otacon. With 80 seconds remaining, Telacy Esports get control of the bot and find themselves probably the most convincing fight win of the map so far. We'll have a overclock to come back into this next one with as well. Can demand a lot more space, a lot more respect than... maybe even Bolo and Pulse combined, depending on how they're used. Oh, it's going to get popped. Slides out of the vortex. Catches, tries before they get their Bolo into the fight. Rab's going to throw their posts in on top, and it ends up being a 2-for-1. With a Kitsune rush in, though, it's still a favorable fight here for Telacy Esports. A couple of quick dashes. Not able to lock down Rav, but eventually the kills come through. And this will be a checkpoint here from Telacy. We're not done here yet, y'all. All right, Telacy need to be perfect. And they're playing into a Kitsune rush. Rug already below that precious armor mark amidst their annihilation. And with a flank there from Sinapi, they're not going to be able to stay alive. Otacon does clean off that flank, but it's still only 50% towards their own ultimate. And this is looking a bit desperate. Hari here, able to just stand on the point. Combat tried to get a sound barrier down, will lose it. And that is the dagger. An AJ to end the series. Vipera with a crispy 3-0 here today. Oh, it is giving this overtime 3-piece. Just heard a lit. Oh. Just barely. That's the ultimate coming online. A split second later. If that ultimate came online a half second sooner, that sound barrier's in that fight. Now, I still don't know if that's going to be enough to swing that fight, but... Oh, man. Hate to see it. What a finish. A little bit closer there on Runasapi, but all in all, another dominant performance out of Vipera. Hari at 27-4. Tries 22-4. Once again, leading the team. Actually, Ruck comes through with the most damage in that map. But I think trying to match Vipera in the brawl was a mistake. I mean, you kind of played into Vipera's hands a little bit. It felt like that. I mean, just my assessment is it felt like it definitely played into their hands a little bit. Hari was spectacular all day long. You know, goes deathless. Only has 7 deaths in 3 maps. We'll end up, quick math, 59. So 66, 86, and 7. We'll end up 86 and 7 on the day. Mostly on the Ramatra. Small stint of Winston there on Oasis, but mostly Ramatra. I think it was just one sum out, just on City Center. It was the only Winston we got. So, I mean, Hari with a spectacular day. Tries with very, very similar numbers. Very, very similar numbers. In fact, fewer deaths. Tries only 6 deaths in 3 maps. And then, Benina. Benina looks like only had 5 deaths on the day as well. So Benina fewest deaths overall throughout the match. And what a huge impact, particularly on Circuit Royale. That on circuit was just nasty. Woo! I mean, the nades were so good. The nades were so good. The nanas were okay. The nanas were mostly used on Rise, right? Or Tries, I mean. But it was really all about those antis. It was all about those antis on that second point. I mean, and really good walls from Rav. Like, exceptional, well-timed walls from Rav. Not throwing the walls out too early where they were immediately broke, but wait and kind of tell that clutch moment in the fight where it was the survivability of Rug was teetering. Wait until that moment. Every time Rav was kind of waiting until that critical moment to get those walls up. And that was really the backbreaker, right? I mean, this only 4 deaths in the entirety of Circuit Royale. I mean, that's whew. What a fantastic series. This will put Vipera up to 3-0. Ooh, they have Scared of Women on Sunday. Actually, they have Scared of Women and F Word, both of which are undefeated.